Now or never, number one. Oh, I can switch to this very exciting camera. It's the same camera. And Jorden is leaving the building, so he can catch... he can still catch 11.5 hours of sleep. So he should be rested for his 4 AM shift. We are playing Now or Never, number one. Good old classical Queen's Gambit declined. Line recently came to prominence when Caruana had some nice ideas. For example, in the World Championship match against Carlsen after Castle e3, c5 takes takes. He had this Rook d8 novelty, or new move, at least to me. But Now or Never, one goes his own way, plays a6, preparing to go d takes c4, followed by b5. I think c5 is a typical reaction. cd5 also makes sense, or just e3. But I kind of like meeting a6 with c5. Are you stealing my scarf?
Forgot an important item.
What's that?
Won't ever. This is my
Telephone?
scarf.
Okay,
Like
just
scarf.
checking. Yeah, exactly. Wow.
Wow.
There goes your phone.
No, it was my power bank.
Ah, okay.
Also very important. Alright.
See you later. Jorden has left the building, but he deserves a little rest. The guys played Dutch League yesterday, then they came in Luke's car. I think it's like a 5-hour drive. Arrived at the hotel around 3ish. So let's hope he will be ready for the graveyard shift at 5 AM, 4 AM. In this game, yeah, knight b7, rook e8. I played h3, so knight h5, bishop h2 doesn't bother me. No, I'll try to get some pieces out. Sometimes you gotta watch out for e5 trickery here. But somehow I'm not that concerned yet. Even though he could think about bishop takes c5, for example, d takes c, pawn to e5, and he would win the piece back with e4. But Now or Never one goes for a slow plan, knight f8, knight g6, which is all good and well. The problem for black is after bishop h2 here, you're running out of useful things to do at some point. Well, white can just continue strengthening the position, play b4, queen c2, a4, b5, and so on. So yeah, it's not much fun for black to play. Ugh, I should have gotten a coffee while Jorden was still here. That was a mistake. b4 on the board, and yeah, looked like a useful regroupment for black, but really now it's very hard to improve the position. So he's gonna be in big trouble. Ferris Bueller is saying, why do we make this Banterthon from Sunday to Wednesday? Everybody's at work here. You work Sundays? Wouldn't it be better to do that from Friday to Sunday? Yeah, I understand the idea, but there are some scheduling issues, especially with chess players. Normally they have league games on the weekends, like the guys played Dutch League yesterday, for example. And also, it has the advantage for us that at least from Monday till Wednesday, somebody will be here if there's tech problems and Tech Jan is not in the house. So, yeah, I understand the notion, but it's just much easier to find people on not weekends. Just check the schedule of Dutch leagues, German leagues, whatever leagues. Would have been very hard to make it happen. As for the position, still same problems for Now or Never. There's not much to do. That didn't help. Played king h8. I'm in no particular hurry. You could go b5 immediately. King h8 is a bit of a sign that he doesn't exactly have a plan, so I'll just continue improving my pieces a little bit. Knight g8. Okay, that's asking for it. Here we go. Knight e7, I guess I should. Many tempting options, but I'll take and install a rook, Loek van Wely style. So after knight c8 I can feel smart about myself when I play a5. Plays f6. Fix this guy. I could have taken it, but no rush really, because black still does not have a lot of constructive ideas. Here they come. Rikala is saying his plan is clear. He wants to get all the pieces back to the back rank. That is possible, but I'm not sure if that's effective. Has the time come to start taking stuff? Nah. Rook c6, he could still take on a5. I don't want to see any active moves out of you, now or never. Even though this might be a now or never situation to play e6 to e5. Nope, not happening. Alright, let's start. Start the harvest. I just like taking pawns. Can't help myself. Little Zwischenzug. You have to be a bit careful not to get checkmated on the back rank. So if you play queen takes b8, rook takes b8 would be an unfortunate mistake because of rook a1. But I can go bishop takes b8, giving my king nice little square on h2. And now or never one, struggling to come up with a move. Just take, yeah, bishop takes as mentioned, and d takes e3 is not gonna solve his problems long term. Thanks for the game, Mr. Now or Never. What else do we have? Sky is mine. I'm not sure you can own the sky technically. It's like Nestle trying to own the water, no? I don't think sky is mine is an appropriate name. Sky is the limit. But yours? 3g3, I like meeting these things aggressively. There's nothing wrong with going e6, bishop e7, short castles, and we transpose to some sort of Catalan, but c5 normally puts more pressure on white directly. c4, I have to admit, I'm not familiar with. d takes c4 looks very tempting. cd4 also looks very possible. And cd5, queen d5. I guess after queen d4, the position is still roughly equal. So, which one is it? No, I'll take this guy. dc5 I guess is legal, but after queen d1, if anybody's better it's black. So I would probably play some move like bishop g2, but then I thought I can still play knight c6, and I didn't really see what white was up to. Sky might be yours, but the c4 pawn is mine. So in general, the rough schedule for today is Luke will be back at some point around 6:30 in around 2 hours. Then he will hopefully, if he wakes up, be joined by our friend Laurent Fressinet around, I don't know when. 8 p.m. And then Laurent will have the first part of the night shift, which is going to be a pretty tough one actually, from from 10 p.m. till 4 a.m. Then at 4 a.m., if he's lucky and Jordan wakes up, Jordan will take over till 8 a.m. Then I'll be back, do the morning shift from, I don't know, I think I'll do 1 or 2 hours together with Jordan. And from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. I'll be by myself. I'm not sure I played this so well, by the way. Maybe time to make one active move. Then at 2 p.m. I'm gonna have to take a little break because I have some babysitting duties. I gotta pick up my daughter from kindergarten and then bring her back to kindergarten the next morning at 9. So I'll disappear for a while. I'll leave at 2 p.m. I can't recall whose turn it is then. Let me look it up. Anyway, you can see the whole provisional schedule, which we will adjust on the fly depending on who feels awake and who wants to join for a double session. But you can see it all on chess24.com in the news article. Maybe I should tweet it too. But yeah, on 2 p.m. the party continues. I'm guessing it's Luke's turn, then Laurent, then Jordan. And Sky is Mine resigns because Rook c8 is an unpleasant, how do you call this, a skewer? The bishop on c1 was falling. Rikala is asking, how many jams would we need to organize in order to keep a continuously running Banterthon going? Perma-banter. I think people have been doing this now with, I think, stuff like poker or maybe some esports, wherever you have 4 and you have 6-hour shifts every day. Okay, you might go a little numb after a while, but it's doable. I think with 6 guys and 4 hours every day, it would be no problem whatsoever. If that's what you want to do with your life. But yeah, I would say 4 is doable, but after a couple months, you might go a little brain dead. With 6, you can just keep it going eternally. I will play against Huchen. Probably not related to Huchenbeet. What are you up to, Mr. Huchen? Oh, there's action in the Banterthon chat group. Jordan saying, at Loek van Wely, coming to the hotel. That's nice, he gives them a warning. Huchen, are you with us? Probably not Grandmaster Huchen Hamdushi either. And he seems to not be around. That's sad, Huchen. Abortovich. What about Chirac? I don't think that's Jacques Chirac. He's from Argentina. Spelling is also somewhat different. What's that? What avatar is that? That's like a box of cereals? Not sure. Zaladix. Oof. Seems like everybody left once again. We have the Jorden van Foreest departure situation where people say, enough is enough. I will wait with my challenge until the Frenchman enters the building. Chirac, are you there? Nope. Alright, one more try. Mr. Adi Reditarun, 1655. This is gonna be a fun show. I just click on challenges, no one shows up. In the meantime, I'll talk to Clash City Rocker, my self-appointed psychiatrist, saying time to resume the psychological profile, Jan. Sebastian Maniscalco or Patton Oswalt? I think both are funny. I like Sebastian Maniscalco's stand-up better. I also thought he was hilarious in, what's the movie called? Green Book? So I'm team Sebastian Maniscalco. I'm also team Nimzo-Indian against Adi Ready Taron. Plays f3, sharp line. I'll go c5. d5 and short castles are worthwhile alternatives. And CP Counter is pointing out, yeah, it's possible that Jorn's Twitter followers were here, and now that he's left, they left with him. That, of course, would cost us dozens of viewers, and it's not like we have that many. So he plays e3, d5 is supposed to be more critical. e3, I'm not sure how well it merges with f3. No, what do I do? cd, d5 looks quite tempting. Yeah, I think that's sensible. Because then the pawn on f3 really looks a bit out of place for that structure. Rikala is rightly pointing out that Jorn should make sure there's no sock on the door. But I don't think Luke brought extra socks, so he's probably safe. Out of water. Took on d5, I'll take with knight. Yeah, once again, white is the problem. Like the theoretical position would be with the knight on f3 instead of the pawn, which obviously would be somewhat better version. Here, looks like white is already in trouble. d2, I'll keep developing. Queen h4 check might have been possible to pick up that pawn, but no reason to get too greedy just yet. Again, is there ever a reason not to get too greedy? So let me think. Check, g3, queen d4. Bishop b5 was a good move though. Like, I'm not sure I should have allowed this. Maybe I should have castled instead of knight c6. Because now, yeah, he can take or go knight g2 in his pieces. Get out with some harmony, which, yeah. I shouldn't have given him that. My position is still fine, but could have been even better. I don't want to exchange bishops after, let's say, bishop a6, knight takes d5. So I'm going to keep that bishop. Still, Adi managed to avoid the immediate dangers. But I'm also playing like an idiot. 93 is not outside of my realm of vision. Not that bishop a6 is bad, but normally when offered an exchange, take it. Chance has passed. I'm sad now. It's 93, I really shouldn't let pass by. Plays knight c5. Yeah, this has gone wrong. Nope, must keep the bishop. I tried to get my hand to take on e2, but I just couldn't. I understand on c8 it looks a bit silly, But it might have a future after e5 to go all the way to h3, for example, and also stops knight d7. So yeah, I can't say I'm very impressed with the way I've handled this, but my position is still extremely sound. F4, directed against e5, but of course also weakening some light squares in the future. So no, Adi's hanging in there, but I will trick him eventually. Just how, I don't know yet. Trying to make something happen with knight takes c3, queen takes c3, then I don't know what, some e5, but can't really see it. So I'll randomly sacrifice a pawn before he stabilizes with knight d3 and hope that after f bishop h3, good things might happen to me. Not sure what these good things could exactly be. At least the bishop is back to life. Wow, he gives an exchange. Might be a decent decision. Still, very brazen. Very tough fight here against Adi. Should have taken that exchange. It's a tough one. Some of my hand wants to take on c3, but then I look at that beautiful knight and that ugly bishop, and I think, not gonna be able to do it. This is a very sad game. The game makes me sad. Adi, I don't manage to outplay you. I have to wait until you blunder a piece in one move in a very decent position. So you've broken my spirit and you've blundered a piece. So we'll both be upset about this. And I apologize. Thanks for the game though. Alright, let's continue. I see a question in the chat. Is Banterthon one of those special moments where non-premium may challenge? Nope, it's for premium only. There are no such special moments, sorry. But become one and you can join the great action instantly. I'll give Chirac one more chance. Monsieur Chirac. D4 or Madame Chirac, we don't know. Here we are. Knight c3, the very soft. That's what this opening is called. The d5, bishop g5. Normally I play c5 here, but sometimes you want to mix it up. And I think knight bd7 is also a very reasonable move. Knight f3, now I have all kinds of options. I'll go g6, bishop g7, short castles, and then have a look around. I'm not sure yet if white plays queen d2, if I should throw an h6. I guess I should actually, because I don't want to allow queen d2, bishop g7, bishop to h6. After e3, I can just do this. And we both made a minor concession. I put my knight on d7, which is not ideal. White put his knight on c3, which is also far from ideal. So, yeah, not much has happened. I think black is fine here. Another question was, instead of castles, should I have played c5 to avoid white from going e4? But I'm not really that concerned about e4. Worst case scenario, I can just take twice and play c5. And black has a very decent position. Queen d2, we go here. And I'll see where the white king goes. If it goes to the queen side, then I'll be aggressive, play some c4, b5. If it goes to the king side, which I expect, then I'll just develop pieces, b6, bishop to b7. And say, haha, United on c3. And that is not a great square for it. Wow, we have action in the chat group. Laurent Fressinet is awake, ladies and gentlemen. And wow, more wows. Chirac took and went long castles. That looks very risky. I'll go here for starters and then see what I'll do after king b1, which I expect. Would be nice to play knight fe4, but unfortunately knight takes e4 throws a bit of a spanner in the works. So I'll say, okay, you caught me. My queen must find new hunting grounds. My point is after bishop f6, knight d5 doesn't work because of queen takes b2, checkmate, and now knight fe4 doesn't look like a threat. Generally looks like black has a bit of a head start in the mutual attackings to come here, because white needs like 18 moves to threaten anything. h4, h5, hg, bishop h6 takes forever. So yeah, I like my position here. Mr. Dodgy is saying, Laurent asking the group chat, what year is it? How long was I gone? He's literally saying, we don't want to know what happens there. Which is a fair point. Wasn't this a threat? I announced it as a threat, so I should probably follow through with it. Looks unpleasant, no, Chirac? Should be 4 knight e4 and knight e4 queen b2 checkmate. I think this is kind of bad news for Monsieur or Madame Chirac. I did reveal my cruel intentions, so you can't blame me for that. This is not a Ryan Philippi situation. I was very upfront about everything. Chirac sitting there questioning his life choices, thinking, after I wasn't there for the first game, why did I have to insist I'm back in business? And then play like this. Now I have to resign after 11 moves. That's a bad look. I'm sorry, Chirac. I'm not that sorry. I'll type good morning, Laurent. Bishop e4 plate, and yeah, I thought knight e4 was game over. I didn't see a move. Knight e4, queen b2, knight e5, queen b2, queen anywhere, bishop or knight takes c3. Queen not anywhere, knight takes d2. So you get the idea. This is the end. Thanks for the game, Chirac. Shall we play more games? Should I get rid of this chair? This chair is confusing me. Sadoji is saying, maybe Laurent just permanently switched to Thai time. I actually told him that whenever he has Magna stuff going on, he should just go to Thailand. But I'm not sure that's happening. I'll play, or try to play, Spielkind in the meantime. Time for e4. This will be my 1 e4 for these 72 hours. I feel like one should not overdo it. The e-pawn is unprotected in the middle. And you can run into all these scary things like e6 followed by b6. And how to react. What to do about it. I don't know. Not sure if knight b2 is such a great move, but it makes some sense not to allow any bishop b4 business, I guess. c5, dc looks tempting. c3 of course looks normal, but I want to confuse Spielkind, so I'll take. If bishop takes, I'll castle and try to get in e5 very quickly. And if pawn takes, I want to go e5, knight e4 right away. And hope for the best. That's usual, part of my plan. Proust is Keen is asking, is Dodgy going to watch all 72 hours? I think if he didn't, the only reason, acceptable excuse would be that he had to get coffee out of his new Magnus Carlsen mug. But probably he can use one of his horse trainers to serve him coffee while he's watching. So I really don't see any proper excuse for Dodgy not to watch all 72 hours. And what am I supposed to do? I like bishops so much so that my default setting would be to just take. There's also something to be said for castling and daring him to move that bishop another time in order to keep it. Bishop a7, like bishop g5, could be asking some hopefully unpleasant questions. Here we are. Not sure how unpleasant that question really is. Process Keen is making another good point. If you were really committed, you'd install screens in all your rooms. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Like, we all know Dodgy has cameras in all his rooms, including the bathroom, but what's stopping you from getting screens as well? So knight takes c5, I guess wins a pawn, but maybe not the game. Bishop g5, knight b7, queen e7, knight g5, queen g5. I don't see anything better, so I'll take. Sometimes I get disgusted. No, I was gonna say I get disgusted with myself, but I'm constantly disgusted with myself. Sometimes I get upset about my lack of attacking talent and my constant desire to just take pawns, which I understand. It's not a very inspiring way to live your life or to play the game of chess. But if you're a one-trick pony, you're gonna keep grabbing them. Grab them by the pawn until you're told. Times have changed. It's no longer okay to grab everybody by the pawn. But I don't think we're there. Queen f6 played. I want to take, but f6 is such a clumsy square that I'm a bit tempted to not take and just keep the horsey alive. Now knight e4 is threatened, so the bishop has to move again, and I thought it might be a little out of the loop there. Okay, time for my daily active move. With a heavy heart, because b2 is hanging, but I just felt like it has to be done once per game. Queen b2, I have bishop takes d5, ed queen d5, which I was hoping was winning, so it's not all bad. Whereas bishop is saying, just learned the word smack alert. What does that mean? d8, I thought I can go here. Let me verify. Yeah, why not? Full disclosure, after knight e3 I was intending fe3. And I kind of missed that. After, let's say, rook d1, bishop e3, king h1. The knight on c5 is hanging. Which, yeah, it's not ideal. Like, my position remains good. After knight e3 I can do either bishop takes a8 or just queen e2. But not ideal. Here's knight f4, which is also a legal move. I had the hunch that if I just go somewhere, it could be tough to keep this rook without giving me some presents as compensation for it. Yeah, I don't see a move knight c6, but I can take rook ac8 and then think. Knight d7 maybe. And Spielkind is realizing what he's done. He did a bad thing. There's no way out. Just blitzing it out for shock value. I'm not sure if this is the cleanest solution, but it's certainly good enough. One important point is that queen g6 I can take it here. I think I will just go away. And once the smoke clears, I'll be in exchange and a pawn up, which should be enough. Yeah, 94 was also winning, of course. Note to self, don't move this knight and get checkmated on g2. Thanks, Jan. Noted. Exchanging this knight I'm okay with. And yeah, the rest is no longer particularly interesting. Just good old flagcraft. But thanks for the game, and we've reached 3000. This is an exciting moment in Banterthon history. The question is, can I keep it? Yes, I can. Keep it going against Slatanisiert. What's Slatanisiert? It's German for Slatanized. So maybe his name is Zlatan, or he's just such a big Zlatan Ibrahimovic fan that he felt like he's won me over. I'm now officially Slatanisiert. But are you there, Slatanisiert? Are you with us? In the meantime, I will check for any Laurent Fressinet reactions in the chat. He gave my good morning message a thumbs up. He didn't reply, but I will take that as further proof of life. Well, I will take it as further proof of absence that Slatanisiert has not yet made a move. Moving on. Against Jack Parks. Albin K is saying my Facebook friends are laughing at me for watching Banter Blitz. It's a tough world we live in when your Facebook friends are laughing at you. I told them I could be doing worse, like sharing cat memes. They suddenly get quiet. Yeah, that proves my point. Good job, Albin K. The Henker's asking, how many Banterthons did it take to get to 3000? I have a feeling we might have been to 3000 in maybe the first Banterthon with Pepe until we threw it all away in that last hour. But I could be wrong. I'm not sure if this is an all-time high. Jack Parks is playing the Slav, this particular line after queen b3. You can either go very passive with bishop back to c8, or you can sacrifice a pawn, which is interesting, with knight to c6, queen takes b7, bishop d7, then I go all the way back and so on. Queen b6, I believe I can just take this guy, which is a pawn. I like pawns. Sadoji is saying Laurent probably went back to sleep. Yeah, that sounds likely. He pressed the thumbs up and off to bed again. It's Sunday. The point of 95, of course, after queen takes b3, I have what the Germans call a Zwischenschach in form of knight takes f6 check. He goes queen a5 check when I'll briefly think about bishop d2, then realize it doesn't quite work and go back with the knight, saying, "You've done your mission, brave horsey. Now, please go back." Dutch Defender is asking average rating of the four. We're all very close in rating, which should, of course, bring, especially Luke and Laurent, great shame. So the average rating must be 2630 something. I think Laurent is 2650, I'm 2640. And Jorden is climbing up, he's probably 2630-ish, and Luke had some recent losses. So he's around 2620, yeah, it must be 26 middle 30s. Bishop b5, knight bd7. I will pretend to go after the horse, but what I really want is the horse owner, the queen. And it looks like her days are limited. Her Majesty has walked into my trap. Yes. It's over. Even bishop c2 trying to free a square. I can just go queen takes c2 and the queen still doesn't have anywhere to go. So it's gone go. And therefore Jack Parks resigns. Thanks for the game, Jack Parks. Let's play against Sestroberto. d4. I feel now is the time to play d4, c5. Which is another thing that one should not do very often because it's not a very good opening. But sometimes I just feel like locking the position, not leaving the room. And then quietly agonize behind my pawn structure. This bishop h6 is one of these things that when you see it first, you feel it's very smart. You exchange your quote-unquote bad bishop. But then if you look at it a little further, you see you still have no space. Your pieces are misplaced. So it's not really good. But what's done is done. Knight d7, I already started worrying about knight b5, but I thought I can still play queen b6. Nothing too bad happens. But note to self, probably not a bad idea to throw in a6 as soon as possible. I'm a bit curious if Sestroberto will try to checkmate me by going f4, which if it works, it's checkmate, but if it doesn't work, it's very dodgy positionally because the black knight gets this eternal e5 square to operate on. So he doesn't, he plays f3, he plays it more quietly, which also allows me to, you know, sort of get my pieces out. I'm not 100% sure what goes where. The typical plans are to either go rook b8, knight e8, knight to c7 to prepare playing on the queen side with b5, or to play knight h5 and see if something good happens on the king side. I'll go knight h5 and then f5 if I'm allowed to, just to spice it up a little. White could play g4 here. Well, of course it's double-edged. I would go knight g7 and then keep the option to go f5 in mind. Phoenix89 is asking, anyone watching rugby England versus France at the same time? I'm not. Laurent insisted to have his schedule Paris Saint-Germain friendly so he can watch whatever it is. Champions League, Liverpool against Paris, but I don't think he's much into rugby. And I doubt our Dutch friends are. So, nope. b5 I'm not sure. It feels maybe a bit much to open fronts on both sides of the boards the board, but it was just too tempting after knight a4. Nothing wrong with b6, so some slow move. But some men just want to see the board burn. I'm not one of these men. Fun position though, so much tension, so many pawn clashes. He could, I was just gonna say, intensify that tension by going f4 himself. Which is a bit of a pawn sacrifice, no? If I take and ef, I'm not sure I want to do that. But I will, because you know I like pawns. So take this guy. But now that just helps the knight get back into play. So all I have to do is figure out the proper way to take this pawn. Knight df6 also possible. Knight takes f4, knight f4, ef, rook f4. Is there any tricks? Not really. So I'll go ef. Bishop f3 looks best. And now... I don't know, it wasn't that smart after all. No, I don't like my position that much. You just grab a pawn without expecting anything bad, and all of a sudden you have a bad position. What to do? I want to go knight f6, knight takes f4, and knight e5, but I dislike b takes c5, d takes c, d6 then. So I'm trying to make this Zwischenzug and now go knight e5. But it's all a bit dodgy. c5, dc, d6 still looks scary. Let's see where this game takes us. Focusing. Knight e6 is a surprise. I can take that, no? Well, I will take it, but... What does he want? A queen e6, bishop d5. That is your plan. These are the moments where I wish I could calculate better. But then I just stare at the position for a while. I realize I can't, so I just make whatever move comes to mind. And this came to mind. After rook d6, I was trying to figure out if I can somehow win with some sneaky combination of knight f3, knight e4, but I don't really see it happening, so I'll just be humble, go back, and hope that my arguably somewhat safer king will tell in the complications eventually. So what is going on? Bishop d5 check, king h8, bishop takes c4, e1 plate, interesting. Check. Why do all my games have to go like this? Whenever it starts looking remotely exciting, queens come off and we play some boring endgame that I then win on time. I don't know. It's just the way it is. Sorry, says Roberto. And Jordan is making plans to exclude Luke from all social activities. He's saying maybe some dinner when Luke is streaming at Jan Gustafsson, at Laurent. Sounds too good to pass up. Have Lukey working while we're eating an opulent meal. Does sound like very tempting. In the meantime, I shall try to defeat Mr. Clash City Rocker. Oof, did I play e4 again? This might be the first open Sicilian since the last open Sicilian I played. a6? Did you mix up your move orders here, Clash City Rocker? Do you want to play the knight off and put the pawn on e6, not d6? Or is that position that we have on the board now your pet opening, your weapon of choice? In that case, I said nothing. If it is though, find a new pet opening. This looks horrible. Just saying. Manu Swag is asking, question for Jan, do you feel more inclined to take risks on accounts that are not your personal ones? I don't think so. Like, in general, I hate to lose no matter what account I'm on, but my Chess24 rating or Banterthon's rating really means very little to me. If anything, if we had a goal here in this Banterthon to finish on whatever rating, then I would feel less inclined to take risks on it. But no, I don't care. I just, sometimes wonder how I can keep the shows somewhat interesting, and I can't always play the same knight f3, c4, which would be the highest, how do you call it? The highest equity for me, I guess, because it's what I know best. So I try to mix it up. But no, that's not a topic that much on my mind. Queen e2 felt a bit slow. By the way, I should have played knight e4. Don't want Clash City Rocker to get them pieces out. Queen takes b2 looks like suicide. I haven't seen a direct win, but bishop d4, for example, just can't work for black. So he has to go somewhere with the queen. And now I have to find a way to keep my vanishing initiative going. Maybe this is a decent move, intending to either put the bishop on d6 or if the knight goes somewhere, to take here at least. Ruining his castling hopes. Of course, I prefer to go knight e4, but e5 was hanging and I couldn't see a good follow-up. So I choose this direction. Ollie is saying C24 Blitz ratings. Laurent 2662, Luke 3046, Jan 3128, Jorn 3036. I don't think Laurent's rating is very representative of his Blitz skill. I think just hasn't played much maybe. The Banterthon. No, not. He had one Banter Blitz and that's probably it. So don't underestimate Monsieur Fressinet in Blitz. He's very, very good. And it's also being pointed out that today we have a lot of Sicilians with weak dark squares for black. That's true. Seems like it's a theme. I'm not quite sure why. It's because people keep playing shady lines, allowing some early knight b5 or some early e5. After which those squares become problematic. And this bishop is not a very happy camper here. I want to play d4, but now I'm wondering maybe I should keep the option to go queen d4 and put the queen on d6. But nah, it seems like it's using excessive force to use a rook to defend that knight. I'll just try to break through on the king side somehow. Tweedledee saying the co-op show with Laurent was great fun to watch, easily one of my favorites. Thank you. He has to go g6 to stop f5. When I still have to figure out what to do. Maybe reshuffle my queen towards these new dark square weaknesses. Okay, goes king e7, but that allows me to go f5, which yeah, should not end well for black. So many options. I'll put my finger on this weakness. I kind of expected him to take. The problem is, even though my strong knight disappears, this bishop still remains very, very passive, so it does not give black that much. What's the word? I don't know the word. Hope. It's not the word I'm looking for. Let me Google what word am I looking for. Relief. Yeah. It's a word I could know. d5. What you want. Clash c rocker. Queen g7. ef. Hoping this will be even stronger with this inclusion, because now after ef I can go queen f6 check, and the king might have some trouble. I'll throw this in mainly so I don't move this rook later and blunder queen takes f1 checkmate. And also maybe I want to double here or here, but not really. Okay, how hard can it be to find a breakthrough here? Breakthrough. H3 just in case. Luftloch for later, and next move, I might do something active, like rook c2 followed by rook b2, or no, he goes bishop d7, rook b2 immediately. Could be somewhat unpleasant. Let's continue this discussion, Mr. Rocker. It all ends. Thanks for the game, Clash City Rocker. And yeah, I guess he mixed up. Or he had a finger filler in the opening because a6, e5, knight g8 really doesn't look healthy. Okay, more games of chess. What about Boromakot? Time to play d4 Makot. Wow, Laurent is skipping our dinner. That's very hurtful to all of our feelings. He is saying though that he will join Luki between 7 and 8 and had a late lunch, aka breakfast at 4 p.m. He's asking, main point of the show is to mock Luke, right? Question mark. No, I think that's not the main point of the show. The main point of the show is that we all learn a lot about chess and mock Jordan. Or not. I'm not sure. I might have to endure some mocking myself. But with mocking, I feel like giving is more fun than taking it. With gifts, I feel the other way around. I'm a great person. Theory is asking if I watched The Good Place. Yeah, I've seen, like the first season. I don't know. Everyone loves The Good Place and it's a critical darling. I wasn't obsessed with it. It's fine. Maybe I'm missing a lot of the jokes, but it didn't stick. It's smart, it's well acted, all that stuff. But yeah, it didn't make me go into crazy binge mode. Knight h6, there's a lot of theory in this position. You can play d5, de5, h3, you name it. c5, I think, is also supposed to be a tricky move. What was I playing here? I had some games in this line. I guess I took. Then I took again. Now I'm out of book. Solid line for black as far as I can recall. It's not that much to be wrung out of this position. I guess I shouldn't give this check, but I should castle or something. How do you do this? You never want to allow bishop takes f3, gf in the structure because this bishop would just be dead. You can't free it. Try it. So that's important to keep an eye out on. Therefore, I'm aware, e1 is not the greatest square for the knight, but you just can't allow him to go bishop f3. I went for this little operation. Any tricks? Nah, I guess no tricks. f3 or h3? Maybe h3. I have a hard time figuring out what's supposed to go where in this position, as you can probably tell by my moves. h5 also strikes me as odd, though. It's a weird position. I honestly don't know what's going on. I guess we just try to put our pieces on somewhat sensible squares. And not to blunder too many of them. Also seems fairly equal, frankly. I haven't achieved much. I'll just try to take some baby steps to improving my position. This bishop could be a little better on c3, or maybe I can throw in a little bishop a5 to annoy a bit. I like to get my king to f1 or f2, so I don't have to worry about 92 checks anymore. That kind of stuff, but nothing major is happening. Back and forth. Provoked a little weakening there with b6. But again, not much going on. Let's c4. Hang on, Tactics Jan is smelling something. My spider sense. Must be some trick. Bishop takes, rook takes, bishop e5. That could be the trick, no? I really wish I could calculate. It's embarrassing how slow my mind is with these things sometimes. And I'm not saying this to be facetious. Seems like it works, no? Ooh, I'm so scared to blunder the house here. Rook takes d5. D, rook c1. Come on, there must be some trick here. This position is screaming, trick me. I missed rook d5, which might be a good move. Bishop d5 I saw. Thought it didn't quite work after this. Even that assessment one could certainly argue with. Yeah, that was a bad operation. Time to speed up. Not my proudest calculation ever. Bishop pair is too strong in such positions. Like, black is probably winning here, actually. Yeah, winning without a question. But what can you do? Gotta fight on. Also have no time left, which doesn't make things easier. No, getting crushed here by Boromakot. He played a good game. There's just nothing to do here. No hope. He also still has 121. I can resign here. No, I'm not even that upset at myself. He just played much better than me. The one moment you could point to was, yeah, this sort of ill-advised combination. This bishop takes e5, which, yeah, just doesn't work. I had some hallucination. I don't even know what it was. I think I thought the bishop was hanging at the end of this line, but there's also rook takes d5, so yeah. It's one of those where I felt his pieces are uncoordinated. There must be some trick, but I couldn't quite see it. So no, kudos to him. Played too well. And I'm gonna lick my wounds and try to defeat Mr. Joshua A. Good old London system. Ugh. No better way to prepare for taking a long nap than playing a couple London systems. I understand the appeal, blah blah blah, easy scheme, bishop f4, e3, c3, get the pieces out, you won't be much worse, all that stuff. But why, Joshua A? Why? I like the CD knight h5, which looks very anti-positional, but it's a surprisingly decent system and also makes White's life a little tougher because he can't play his usual scheme. And I think grabbing this pawn should be very risky. Knight b4. Is this all still some weird theory? I doubt it. Looks like I'll have good compensation no matter what I do. Trying to figure out what the best way to handle is. I could take and then go bishop a6. But this bishop is doing such a nice job that I think I'll keep it and go a5, knight d3, and then bishop a6. Joshua A saying, pawn up, time to surrender, and tell my chess friend I was a pawn up versus Jan. You don't even have to surrender, you can just keep playing and then tell your chess friend you were a pawn up against me, no matter what happens. It will always be the truth. Do I have to take this horsey? I guess so. With a heavy heart. I want to go e5, but I didn't want to give the d5 pawn. So I'll prepare it. The white problem is he can't really castle short with my bishop staring into the heart of his position. Well, long castles is legal, but it feels less safe than castling short. And there might be some unwelcome visitors to Her Majesty's headquarters at some point. a6 feels like an empty gesture. You know how I feel about pawns, even though I was told that with opposite color bishops, initiative, blah 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 blah. I like pawns. Now we no longer have opposite color bishops, so screw initiative. g5. I was expecting h5, so the queen keeps contact with that Mr. Pawn. g5, once again, time for the rusty calculation skills. Once again, no success. If you can't calculate, just keep the position closed. Old wisdom. Okay, don't checkmate me, sir. Rook d8 looks like a mistake. He played well so far, but I think he had to go rook h3, because now I can't really see how white untangles here. Rook h3, rook d3, knight g1 is still allowed, I guess. Yeah. Okay. I couldn't really see it. Doesn't mean he can't. How's that endgame? Not sure. Let's find out. It's a bit scary that if this knight ever lands here, I have to resign. But I will try to avoid that fate. Gimme. Check. Run. Okay, now it should just be winning. And Joshua A resigns. Play very well until the end game, which I'm not sure. I have the feeling it could be better for me, but it's a mess. Not sure what to advise here. Because yeah, f4 actually felt logical. If not, it's hard to organize the pieces. I don't know, maybe it's good for black, but I wasn't sure at all about it. Whew. Let's play against... I'm not sure I can read that name. Gastromonogy? Is that Mr. King's Crusher? Or is it just a King's Crusher fan using a King's Crusher picture? I do not know. ED4 looks somewhat early, I would say. Should be 7. It's tempting to go knight f5. Because I like bishops. Costs some time, and you could argue it's the bad bishop, but still, it's going to be pretty tough for black here in the long run to fight against my dark squared bishop, which will end up on b2, I guess. So I think this is a fairly unpleasant position for black already. Also, generally in this structure, it's hard for black to get too active. It's not realistic to organize an f5 break here. And playing c6 will make it much tougher to keep this d6 pawn alive. So bishop d7, bishop c6 actually looks like a decent maneuver. But it's still not a position I would be aching to play. And the door has opened. Who could that be? Either Luke is back after a very short power nap. Could also be that Mr. Julius, our intern, has come to help us out. Or it could be the cleaning crew that scared poor Peter Svidler during the Vike live transmission. Peter thought he left his possessions, his computer with all his Hearthstone databases unattended in the kitchen, and might never see it again. But it was all good. Let's see. No one's entered this room yet. I really need to urinate, so I think I will combine the burglar chase with a urinary break after this game against our friend Gastro Bonochi. As for the position, I'm better, but he's solid, so there's no immediate breakthrough. I'm gonna have to make up my mind where to play. A3, b4, an obvious way to gain space. f4, a more double-edged way because it weakens the e4 pawn. Knight d5, bishop d5, ed is also a very typical way to proceed from here. More brazen players might think about g4, but I'm not going to be able to do it. That's so dry though. I'm trying to be less dry, but I struggle. I was a bit concerned about a4, b4, knight b3, but after queen d1, I'm not really sure what the big deal is, or queen d3. It's not like this knight has access to the d4 square, so it might just be a little stranded on b3. Yeah, seems like a logical way to make some progress. Rikal is asking, whatever happened with those Sunday burglars? Did Jan get murdered? No, I think it's sort of a money heist situation, that their plan was to stay in the office as long as possible and print, not money, but we have this 3D printer, so I think what they've been doing is trying to print as many. This is where my story falls apart. I don't know what they were printing. I think they were printing these miniature houses nowadays. You can get houses from a 3D printer. So they tried to stay in the office to print these houses as long as they could without being detected. And they might or might not have Paul Borta and his laptop and his Hearthstone database as hostage to make sure no one tries to interrupt them. I believe that's what happened, but I will also admit that my story started cracking a bit there. Am I winning here? Looks like I should be winning. No, look at my bishops. Bishops are good. Bishops are friend. And the good thing about bishops, as a wise man once told me, is that sometimes you can give up one of them, and then you still have one left. I'm not sure those were his exact words. I'm not sure this was played well by yours truly, as usual. Still much better, but I miss my bishop already. Darky. Maybe it was a mug situation indeed. That's very possible. I miss this bishop too. So now I've given up both my beautiful bishops, and all I have to show for it is a measly pawn. Jan's sad. That's not true though. It's not just a pawn. It's a pawn and an extra minute on the clock. I'm trying this new, somewhat less negative thinking thing. Still very negative though, don't get me wrong. And we get to everyone's favorite part of the show. Jan's rook handling technique. F6 helps my case, no? Like every king move would be a discovered check, but every king move would also be taken by me personally, or one of my pawns. Speaking of pawns, I'll go after that robber, armed with a Kinder Chocolate, either to be used as, what was that word Liam Neeson used? As a kosh, or as a bribe. We'll see.